Hi there, welcome back to Still Waters ASMR. It's been a while, So I've missed you guys and I've missed making content and everything else, but life has been hectic. So obviously, I think last time I spoke to you and gave you guys a life update, I just had my operation. So you can see they sliced me open pretty good, because last time I think I spoke to you, I think I had the bandages still on, so the scar, it's healing up nicely. The swelling has gone down because I was like, oh man, it was like from here, like straight up, like this big fat neck. I still have a degree of numbness, I think, kind of like round about here area. Sorry, my cat's just coming to say hi. I still have a degree of numbness right here, but the lump is gone because it was like right in here. I had the big lump. So it's now gone. So I still have a bit of a jowl, but I think that's just shape of my head. I think that's my grandmother had it too. So, but it's looking much better. I do have a fantastic Halloween idea. That is get a little hobby horse and some like fake blood to really ham up the scar and go as a nearly headless horseman. That just sounds like good fun. My husband's like ex-wife was joking, saying we could go as like the new wife, jealous ex, kind of make a costume out of that. That would be quite funny. Like me and her get on really well. She's a hoot. I've got a little pussycat here coming to say hello. So, but yeah, it's healing up nicely. I'm back to being able to do like heavy lifting and all that kind of stuff. They didn't let me do any heavy lifting for like a couple weeks after the operation, and just so I didn't like burst anything, but I'm back to sort of full strength. I can't say I notice much of a difference. I thought I would notice more of a difference with the lump being gone. For anyone wondering, it wasn't like anything cancerous, it was just a cyst thing that's related to the thyroid, but it wasn't a thyroid issue. But basically, it was a lump that shouldn't have been there, and it did cause some issues. But I kind of thought I would feel a bigger difference it not being there, but I was glad it's gone. Yeah, just glad it's gone. And it's still like I can still feel that it's still healing. There's still a bit of tenderness, but it's doing so much better. What else has been going on? So yeah, that was like, I should probably have my diary out to keep track of like what the heck has been going on, because there's been so much happening that I can't keep track. I spent so it's been this, we're just coming up to the end of the school summer holidays here. So right, today is Friday, the 11th of August, I think, yes, today's Friday, the 11th of August, I'm filming this. So, the schools go back next week. Next Wednesday. The schools here in Scotland are in Shetland. Across the UK, the schools go back at different times. England, I think, still has a few weeks left. I think they're more the end of August. So Scottish schools have like July and then like half of August off, and then I think English schools do like half of July and then all of August. So it's like 6 weeks. So we're coming to the end of the school holidays. During the school holidays, I don't think I've filmed any content during the school holidays. During term time, I've got like free childcare in that my daughter goes to nursery. She's got a 2-year-old nursery place, and it's free. I get like 30 hours a week free, which is wonderful. And then, but during the school holidays, I've been paying folk to look after her, so I can get my studying done. I can do like the Croft accounts, that kind of stuff. So she's currently at somebody's house just now, and I'll be paying them for that. I had a big exam, so I've been doing accountancy exams. I've been studying accountancy for a long time now. Feels like forever. I bought the courses back in 2019. They were on sale. I bought them, got a good price, and I had the money. I just moved to Shetland. I had the money sitting, so I went ahead and bought the courses. Started them in 2020. I had these grand hopes of getting them both completed. I did the AAT level 2 and then the AAT level 3, and I had these grand hopes of like getting them done really, really quickly. I got level 2 completed before my daughter arrived, or I think I did the last exam after she was born. But basically, I got those exams, like I completed the level 2 sort of towards the end of 2020, and then level 3, I was like, yeah, I'll get back into it when my daughter's 6 months old. She was like a year old before I got the books open again, and it's taken me, she's about to turn 3, so it's taken me like almost 2 years to get it done, and the curriculum is being withdrawn as of like this course, like the ability to do the exams for it is being withdrawn as of the end of September this year. So I literally have like a month and a half to get it finished. Because they brought out a new version of the curriculum last year, and so they kind of gave a bit of leeway time to finish up the previous course, and then you basically do the new course. And so I've been frantic Scrabble this summer. So I done the AAT level 3 there is advanced bookkeeping module. There is the final accounts prep module. There is the management accounting costing module. Those 3 have all got end of unit exams, which I've done and completed. There's then an ethics module, which doesn't have an end of module exam, but those 4 modules then feed into the synoptic exam, which is like a big exam which covers those 4 modules. And there's like written elements, so like most of the other ones, it's mostly like multiple choice or calculation. So it's like easy for me, because like the maths bit I don't have a problem with. The synoptic exam has got a lot of written content, so it was a lot harder. So that was like the big exam I've been working towards all summer. I did that the 1st of August. I have to get 70% to pass it. I sat down and like tallied, like I completed the exam, and then I had a little bit of time left over, so I went back through and I looked at the questions that I was confident I'd gotten right, tallied up those marks I was confident I'd gotten, and it came to 73%. And then I'm obviously hoping that I've gotten like more marks from the other ones. So hopefully I have gotten enough to pass, and if I could get, so with AAT, 70% is a pass, 80% and above is a merit, and 90% above is distinction. All of my exams I've done up till now, I've been getting like above the 90%, so I've been getting distinctions. And the grades I've gotten so far, I just need to get 80% and above on this exam, and I will have gotten a distinction overall. So I'm hoping I've done well enough, but I need to wait and find out. I find that out at the beginning of September, like the 4th of September or something, which then gives me like 1 week if I need to resit, which is really tight. And I'm in 2 minds as to whether to just book another exam just in case, or like just in case I have to resit or not. I don't know. It's tough. And then I've got so I've got that, and then there's also an indirect tax, which is basically about VAT, value-added tax. That module I've already done and completed, and then there's just the spreadsheets module left to do, which if I don't get 100% on the spreadsheets module, I just need to just pack it all in, because spreadsheets are my life. Like, I use spreadsheets in my personal life to keep track of things. And then in like my previous life as a chartered chemical engineer, I used to like build complex engineering tools in Excel for like vessel design and things like that. So if I can't get 100% on the spreadsheets unit, then like, heaven help me. Like, I've done 2 assignments already and gotten 100% on each. I've got a third assignment to do, which I'm going to try and get done today, and then I've got the exam. And so yeah, I'm hoping I can get 100% for that, because like spreadsheets are my thing. Like, I know spreadsheets. I flick through the book and there's literally nothing. There's no concepts that I'm like, oh, that's new to me. It's all stuff I've known before, I've done before. Like, there's nothing. Yeah, it's the book might have tips on other ways, because a lot of times in Excel there's more than one way to do something. But so there might be some. I might learn some like different ways of doing things that I already know how to do. But it's like all of it will be things I already know how to do. So that's where my studies are at. So I've been doing a lot of studying. I haven't done a lot of study videos because it's been so like manic flat out studying. I've not wanted to take the time to set up to film or like upload video, because it's just been like, I just need to get my head in and study. Or I've been studying like at the library or whatever. I'm hoping, so I still have my level 4 to do. So I'm now a certified bookkeeper. I still have my level 4 to do to become like a qualified accountant, or accountant technician or whatever they call it. And then I've got my accountancy chartership after that. So my level 4, I'm hoping to basically get it as a better study routine, which I can then do study videos as part of that routine on like a nice regular basis, like planned and not chaotic and rushed. Because I basically was getting really close to the wire and I was having to like focus on what the top bits I need to know, and it just got a bit stressful. So I wasn't trying to film because I was having to like really concentrate. So that's kind of the studying news. I had a cousin visiting from America for like a few days, and I found out like literally days before they came. It was all very last minute. They've been doing like a backpacking around Europe for like several months, and they came up here to Shetland, and I took like a few days out to show them around. A few days I couldn't really afford, but it was really good, and I'm glad I did it. We had some awesome adventures, me, her, and my daughter. So that was really nice. And then my brother was over, so we had the tall ships races came to Shetland this year, end of July, and it was amazing. Basically, the tall ships, if you don't know about the tall ships races, it's like those big sailboats, like, you know, like the multiple masted sailboats that are like stunningly beautiful. And then also smaller yachts and things, but it's like these like proper mast, like big sailing ships. And they have a race. I think it's an annual event, but it doesn't always come to Shetland. Like every 10 years or so it comes. So it came in the 90s when I was a kid, and I went and saw it, and it was amazing. And then it came again in, I want to say it was 2011 or something, but I was living south at the time, so I missed it. And it came again this year, so it was amazing. Like the harbour in Larwick was full of these beautiful ships, and just the atmosphere. There's a whole bunch of events laid on, like music and food, and just like a whole bunch of like a fantastic atmosphere. They had a crew parade that we went and saw, which my daughter slept through the entire of. They had like drums and whistles and like lots of loud noises, and my daughter slept through the entire thing. She just completely passed out. And yeah, it's like boats from like all over the world. And I think they were going on to Norway next. But yeah, it's just like an amazing atmosphere. And so when I was a little kid, and because my brother was over visiting from America with his amazing girlfriend, love her to bits, we took some time off to spend time with them. And so again, that was like another week gone, basically, visiting with folk. And so when I was a kid and the tall ships came to Shetland, I was like, oh, that would be amazing. Like, I would love to go and travel on one of these sail ships. That would be an amazing opportunity. But it never happened. Like, life, it just didn't work out that way. I went off to university, and then I met somebody, and then I moved down to London and started working, and opportunities to go and have adventures, just it never happened. And then going and seeing the boats, I was like, oh, that would be amazing. And then I was chatting to a crew member on one of the boats, and I made a comment to him about, because I know that they like, you can sign up to sail on these boats for like a leg of the race, because they have like races from like different locations. They'll kind of go like from one stop to another stop, and then that to there, and then they kind of go around a circuit. And then so each leg of the race is a race in itself, and then they have like the overall race as well, and you can join up for like just one leg of the race. And I said, I was like, because he was chatting to another couple, and they were talking about going up in the rigging, and I was like, oh, that would be way too scary. Like, there's no way you get me up these masts, like rolling up the sails, because it's all like done as it was. So there's people climbing up the rigging. Obviously now they have like harnesses, but the people climb up the rigging to like roll up the sails and stuff. And when the boats came in, there was a bunch of like on one of the ships, and there was a bunch of folk up in the rigging singing sea shanties as they came into harbour, which is amazing. And I was like, no, I'm scared of heights. Like, that would be too difficult. And he was like, well, that is optional. Like, if you come and sail on the boat, you don't have to go up into the rigging. That's for people who want to do it. Like, there's certain things that is mandatory if you come on the boat. Keeping the watch, so everybody takes it in turns to be on watch, so they don't run into like icebergs. Manning the wheel, everybody has to take their turn on the wheel because there's no autopilot. You have to always have somebody at the wheel. And I think there was something else. Like, everybody has to pitch in with certain tasks. And I was like, oh, that would be amazing. And I said, but I'm guessing it's just like young people that the opportunities is for, because it's like they have these programs for like young folk to go do these things. And he was like, not on our boat. Like, anybody, like if you're retired, like, you know, over 65, you need a doctor's note to say that you're physically fit. But he's like, but other than that, like, there's no age limits. I was like, yes. So it's still, I assumed I had missed the window of opportunity to do this kind of activity, and that it wasn't an option for me anymore. Because I've got like there's people I know whose kids are going and doing it. Like, one of my cousin's sons went and did a stint on one of the boats, and then another cousin's daughter was going and doing it, and it was like the next generation down is going and doing these fun adventures. And I just assumed that that's like I've missed the boat. And they were like, no, you can still do this. You can still come and do this. So that is back on the bucket list. So I turn 40 in a couple of years' time. Rapidly approaching. And I'm like, that would be something awesome to do either before I turn 40 or like the year I turn 40. It's like a big adventure. That would be amazing. Utterly terrifying. I would probably be sick as a dog out at sea, but it would be so amazing. So I've basically told my husband, I was like, you're gonna have to look after the daughter and the craft and everything for a little while. I'm gonna go have an adventure. It would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna try and make it happen. I need to save up my money. I haven't even looked to see how much it costs yet. It's probably a lot, but it would be an amazing experience. So that is back on my bucket list. I have a lot of expensive things on my bucket list. But yeah, that's really exciting. So there was that. Yeah, we clipped all the sheep this year, and we've been busy making haylage. So for people who don't know what haylage is, you have hay is when you cut grass and you leave it to completely dry, and you turn it regularly so the whole lot gets completely dried. You put it into like bales with just string, and then you store it indoors. Top tip, I only discovered this like a few years back, if you do not completely dry the hay when you store it, the moisture in the hay starts to ferment the hay, which heats it up. And if it heats up too much, it can catch fire. So if you have slightly damp hay that you stick in a shed before it's completely dry, and you're not paying attention, your whole shed can burn down. So there's that. Last year our hay started to warm up in this shed because we were working late into the night and the dew had started coming down, and so it got damp, and then as we put it away the next day it was starting to heat up, so we had to like pull everything out and like spread it out and everything so it could cool down again. The complete opposite end of the spectrum from hay is silage, which is grass that's been cut and instantly stored. Well, not instantly, well, either like as soon as it's been cut, or you might like leave it a moment, air a bit, but it's like stored pretty much right away, and it's stored in airtight conditions. It's either wrapped in bales of plastic, or it's put into a silo where there's like a layer of plastic put over the top so that no air can get to it. It's like compressed right down, again to prevent air getting in. So you like, my mother-in-law was talking about how she remembers when her job, when she had her family had a dairy farm, and they were like driving, it was her job to drive the tractor back and forth over the silage pit. So if it got like hot, she'd have to drive back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to compress it all down. And then you cover it in plastic, and then it basically makes it airtight. And it's really rich. It's stinky as anything. It's very wet, but it's very rich. It's nutritionally rich, quite acidic, but very high in calorie content. So for animals eating that, they get more nutritional value for like the amount they eat out of from silage than they do from hay, but it's very rich. So it's okay for feeding like cows and sheep, but like horses, for example, don't tend to stomach silage as well. So there is a midway point, and that is haylage. So we don't have the equipment to make silage on our farm, but we do have the equipment to make either hay or haylage, because you can use the same equipment to make both, but you just have to wrap. So haylage is basically partially dried. So you cut the grass, you partially dry it, but then when you bale it, you wrap it in plastic so that it's airtight, and it'll have some moisture in it. You're looking for about like 30% moisture. So actually the stuff we made the other day was actually too dry. So you want it to be a drier, but still with moisture in it. And so nutritionally it's like between hay and silage. And so the cat's just leaving. It's not ghosts. And it's not as stinky to work with, but it still smells quite strong. And it's not as acidic. so it's like more palatable. It smells like when you're working with it in the fields, it smells good. But yeah, so we've got currently in my drying green, I've got 123 bales stacked up in there, 5 layers high. It's our baler broke on the first bale this year. I bought a brand new baler this year. Well, new to us, it's probably older than I am. But we bought a new baler this year and it broke on the first bale. And we had lots of other spare parts because our old baler is the same machine. But the bit that broke is the one bit we didn't have. Like it had broken on our old one. We didn't have replacement parts. So we had to order replacement parts. But of course, we live on a small island in the middle of nowhere, so it's going to take days to get here. So thankfully, one of our neighbours stepped in and lent us his baler, which makes we make little square bales, which I can lift. It's a struggle, but I can lift them. This makes small round bales, which are not as big as the massive big tractor eggs you see, but they're still bigger. They're like 50 kilos. So it's like almost, it's not 50, 40 kilos. So it's like almost 100 pounds. So I can't lift that myself. And like, yeah, so they're a lot bigger than what I'm used to dealing with. So that'll be interesting at winter time. But at least they're like cylindrical, so I can like roll them if need be. So yeah, that's not quite our like enough feed to last us for the winter for our sheep. So we've cut more grass and we're waiting for that to be ready for the weather to behave. It's gonna rain later today, so and then we've still got 3 fields still to do, and I have no idea what's gonna happen with those 3 fields because the weather has just been against us. We're going away for a long week, well, for a week in a week's time, and then I'm away for a week in mid-September, and I have no idea when we're gonna get this stuff done. What else has been going on? So we've been busy with that. It was amazing though, because like my stepson, my father-in-law came to help. So we had 3 generations of our family working, and then our next door neighbour just came along and was helping us. And then there's a guy who's bought a farm next door to us. He's not even moved here yet. He lives in England. He's selling up his farm there. He moves up beginning of September. And he was up for like 3 days. And 2 evenings he spent out helping us wrap haylage. And it was like so wonderful because like, I mean, he doesn't even live here yet and he was pitching in helping us. And that is what I love about the farming community, is that they look after each other. Like our friend who lent us his baler, he frequently borrows our wrapper to wrap his bales. You know, folk share advice, they share machinery, they share like medication for the animals, they share like, you know, they'll do each other favors like physical labor wise. It's really nice, especially when you live in a remote location like where we live. The number of times, like if you've got like a poorly animal and you need medicine and you can't get to the vets in time, being able to like do a shout out and having, you know, like other crofters or farmers who are like, oh yeah, I've got it for you. I've had folk helping me out, and then this year I was able to help somebody else out because I had the medication that they needed for their lambs at lambing time, and it's just really nice. That's what one thing I really love about farming. So yeah, we were busy with that. So I've mentioned about the operation, sheep, haylage, crofty stuff, studying, visitors. Yeah, just basically been busy with all of that, and then also working at the moment because I live on the island of Yell, which is like one of the northern isles of Shetland. To get to the town, you have to catch like a 20-minute ferry and drive for like, it's like an hour door to door. But the ferries are only at certain times, and it's like, it's quite a lot. So I go down at work 2 days a week in Larwick at the moment with my job. It's only a part-time job, so I only do 2 days a week, like 15 hours a week or something. So at the moment, I go down with my daughter. We stay at either my in-laws or my parents' house, and the like the grandparents look after my daughter while I go to work. We just stay there like overnight. So we normally go down an evening, and then I'll work the next 2 days, and then we'll come home that evening. I'll do like a grocery shop before we come home, because that's where the grocery stores are. And then, but that's been quite disruptive for my poor daughter. She's coming up for 3. She's been doing incredibly well this summer, but she has been getting shipped from pillar to post while I've been studying. She's had about half a dozen different people looking after her over the holidays, and just no routine, no pattern, nothing. And I'm just aware that it's been a big ask, like the grandparents, like us staying with them, like so regularly. And I really appreciate everything they've done, like so much. But I also don't want to be a burden to them. I'd like them to be able to spend time with their granddaughter because they want to, rather than because they're having to. And so the plan is to shift to where I will go down on like a Monday and work for one day in the office, and then I will then work from home like for the rest of the week. That way I can stay in tune with what's happening in the office. I can continue getting trained up by people in the office on my day in. But then there's plenty of jobs I can just do on my own at home, around my daughter being at nursery. And then that way my daughter will stay at home all week and be able to go to nursery 5 days a week and have a proper routine, have a proper bedtime. And then during the school holidays, she can go stay with the grandparents, and then I can go work in town during the school holidays. And that way she can have like quality time with the grandparents then, but have a better routine during term time. So I mean, we've got October holidays coming up, we then have Christmas holidays, we then have Easter holidays, and then we then have, so it's like there's plenty of holidays. So she'll still see the grandparents a lot, but it just means that like during term time she can have a better routine. And it also means that like at the nursery, like this past year I wasn't so bothered about the sort of like development education side of it because she was only 2. And it was more just I needed childcare. It was just cheap, like free childcare. But now it's getting to a point where, because they do like every week they do stuff with the children, and her being there for the whole week, it means that as they're working on something as a class, she's actually there to like learn everything and to progress, which I know that she will enjoy, because she's a really smart kid. And it's not from I'm concerned about her education, it's just I think it would be good for her, and I think she'd enjoy it, and I think she'd get more benefit out of it for being there for the whole week rather than just like popping in for like several days of the week. Because if they're doing a theme for a week and she's only there for 3 out of 5 days, that's like 2 whole days she's missing out on. So I mean, she's already like, she can recite the alphabet, she can count to 10, and she's already knows some of the names, the numbers after that, but like hasn't quite sussed the order of them yet. She can recognise certain numbers already, like 1 and 2. She can definitely recognise them, possibly 3. And yeah, she's smart. Like her colouring in, like her hand and eye coordination for colouring in is incredible. Like I swear it's better than mine as an adult. Not quite, but it is really good. And yeah, it's just trying to do what's right for her. But yeah, got some big plans, got some construction projects on the croft coming up, Gonna build like demolishing an old shed and building a new one. Yeah, a lot going on. And then I realised I haven't done my US accounts, my US taxes. Oops. So I might need to do that this next week. It's a pain. It was supposed to have been submitted last month, I think. You get like an extension for if you live abroad. I've been really good the last few years and had it in early because I did it like January, February time. And this year it's like August and I still haven't done it. And I just really resent having to do it because like I left America when I was 4. I've been back on holiday, but I have never worked in America. I have never earned money in America. I have lived and worked in the UK my entire adult life. I have no financial accounts in America. Like nothing. Like everything, all of my whole financial life is here in the UK. And yet I have to tell the US government what money I have in what bank accounts, what money I have in my pensions. I have to tell them how much I've earned and blah blah blah, and it's like it's none of their business. It's none of their business. But I have to because I'm a US citizen, because I was born there. And even though I left when I was 4, I still have to do all this stuff because I want to keep going back to visit. I want to still visit America. I still want, because I've got family there. I have no intention to ever move back there. But I would like to still be able to go visit. I would like to visit all 50 states. I've currently got to 11, so that's like on my bucket list is to visit all 50 states. I've got family there, I've got friends there. I still want to be able to go and visit. America is a special place, but I hate the whole way that they've got like citizenship based taxation, and it's like it doesn't matter where in the world you live. If you're a US citizen, they want to know about it, and you're like, it's gone on your, as a UK citizen, if I was to be living in America, the UK government would be like, okay, well, you're living there, you're working there, you're earning there, you're paying taxes there, like, we're not interested. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I haven't done it this year because there's been so much going on, so I'll just need to file late, better late than never. Yeah, I need to get on. I actually need to chase up renouncing my US citizenship because I literally had my appointment to renounce my citizenship in March 2020, and literally days before my appointment, I was going to fly down to Edinburgh and renounce my citizenship. Like days before, it got cancelled. So, that's the post he's just been. We were waiting for those spare parts for the baler. He's not come with them. I might need to phone them, give them a phone, and be like, where are they? They should have been here by now. I might go do that. But anywho, it's been lovely catching up with you guys. I hope you are all well. I hope you are all managing to enjoy your summer or winter if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Happy Christmas. I know it's not Christmas. It will be soon though. Like, crikey. Where the time been going? I'm hoping to get back into a better routine. She says, I always say this. I have ADHD. I'm never going to be in a sensible routine. Yeah, I'm hoping to get more regular with my uploads, because basically you've been getting ones that I filmed ages ago that are just like I pre-planned them basically and like scheduled. That's the word I'm looking for. I scheduled them. So you're basically getting those things. Anywho, I'm gonna go now. You guys take care and look after yourselves. be kind to yourselves, be kind to other people too, and be special yourself. And I will catch you sometime soon. Take care.